Alright guys, I wanted to start this video out with this other PlayStation backwards compatible one. Her dad bought this thing. I don't know if he bought it new. I don't know. We were just talking about it actually. Because we were trying to determine what the original resale price was. I said that they were probably around $600 new. Maybe even $700. She didn't think so. She thought they were only a couple $100. I'm like, no, they weren't $200 or $300. Anyway, he had this open before. That's why there's tape on it, and he labeled it. I don't remember what it does, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug it into this monitor here. And I know that it doesn't work. I know that. And it's going to start out green and then it'll do something stupid. Yeah, it does that. So green and then just flashes red. And we had the green followed by a yellow and then flashing red. As far as I know, it doesn't turn on at all. It doesn't do anything. And I don't know if the disk drive in this one works. I don't know what it does. Yeah, I was assuming it wouldn't do anything. It feels like there might be a disk in it. So let's see here. There is a switch on the back, is there not? Where is it? There we go. So anyway, I don't know if there's another way to test this one. Like, maybe a sequence of buttons that does like a hard reset. But it's just flashing red. So I believe this is called 3 beeps and it's flashing red. Where's that too? This is why I can't do Morse code. I can't tell if that's 2 or 3, but I'm pretty sure that was 3. So let's see what Google has to say about this. 3 beeps and a red flashing light. My PlayStation turns on for 2 seconds and then beeps 3 times. And blah, blah, blah. There's 7 comments. The red flashing light in the console down due to excessive heat. I believe what you are seeing is the classic symptom of very near YLOD. I would either try and repair it myself using the guide here for the yellow light of death. Repair and blah blah blah. Performed this procedure because it had 3 beeps and the red flashing light, and the symptom online said it means overheating. The unit ran without issue for 30 minutes, and then the same symptom returned. I have found others who experienced the same so far. I haven't found anyone who actually resolved the issue more than a few days. As an engineer, I know that attempting to reflow a BGA of this size using a heat gun is virtually impossible. Yeah. Contemporary flip chip design and solder ball failure is the most common issue. You're right. Any heat treatment is only a temporary fix at best. Somebody says, okay, you two. So I was youngish and got frustrated and upset by the fact that Sony rep told me it would be $300 to repair my PS3, which turns out I would have gotten a refurb. So a buddy tore it apart, reflowed the GPU, CPU, applied thermal paste, and without the use of the Blu-ray driver. What? Lasted 6 months, and 6 months later I did it the third time, 3 months. 3 months, 2 months, 2 months, 1 month, continually having to reflow, then finally dead. Now I could remove the processors. Reball them, reapply. Problem should be fixed. It seems the real culprit was the Blu-ray driver. That makes no sense. Possibly that it was. Read about the Xbox 360 and PS3. Okay, this is a whole bunch of bullshit. Okay, so I have this issue with the jailbroken PS3 fat model CECHK01. I don't know which one I have. Running Evil Mat 4.89. This is not just an overheating issue, and likely it isn't an overheating issue at all. I've been repairing these systems for over a year now and have learned a lot in the process. I have performed multiple successful de-lidding procedures, over 100 at this point, by crafting my own tools, reflowing, reballing, testing capacitors, replacing NEC tokens, case molding. The system can be off for a day, then press the power button. System starts to boot for about 1 second and then cuts off 3 flashes and a beep. The interesting aspect is that for me, if I hit the power button again to stop the red flashing and immediately hit the power button again, the system boots up just fine and continues running for however long I want it to run for. Temperatures are well under control in the system. The GPU and the CPU hold together in close proximity of 55 degrees Celsius. Anyway, this is a whole lot of just reading crap of like, well, what? Yeah. They're talking about the towel method. I would put the towel wrap it in a towel, I wound it up, and put it in a box, using a hair dryer running in the back and forth. Put the PS3 in its box or another with the rear vents facing out. You can also just wrap it in a towel. I wound up doing both, as I was a larger box, using a hair dryer, running it back and forth across the length of the vents for 5 minutes. Let it rest for a minute, do another 5 minutes, let it rest for a minute, and then do another final 5 minutes, and set the unit someplace relatively cool and let it cool down for about an hour. I plugged it in and it worked. There are several videos on YouTube that use this method. That's where I originally saw the fix. Will it last? Don't know, but so far, no problems. Interesting. It sounds like these are pieces of crap. Man. Yeah, well. Oh, there's a BIOS battery in these damn things. Let's see. Yeah, this is a ps3 Slim that they're talking about in some of these. Anyway, I don't know why they can call that solved. That ain't solved. I actually think this has the YLOD. This guy describes it right here. Copy that. Flashing red light means either overheating or hardware failure. Look closely for any yellow light. It may also be the yellow light of death. These models are the worst type for a reason. In other words, without maintenance experience, it's dead and the stuff on the hard drive is gone. It can either be overheating, which can be solved with good cleaning, thermal paste, and blah 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 blah. Let's see. Let's go look up the thing. There's too many problems with these things, you know. And I don't know if I want to bother trying to fix this thing. This one is not fixable. The other one might be fixable, but it's probably going to go bad eventually too. That's what I think. Here's the breakdown of the issue. The yellow light of death is a flashing yellow light that indicates a general hardware issue that causes the PS3 to shut down. The most common frequent culprit is a failure in the solder connections of the BGA bumps between the GPU, RSX, and the motherboard, or other faulty components. Why does it happen? Thermal expansion contraction between the interposed and underfill, the voids created by the BGA bumps due to the electro migration can lead to the cracking of solder balls. The RSX chip is the GPU on the PS3 back in 2005-2006. GPU manufacturers made an industry-wide mistake. That mistake being that they didn't put enough silicone in the chip. So over time, when you would turn it on and off your system, the solder balls below the die of the chip would crack and lose their connection. You can try to diagnose the issue by communicating with the PS3's SYSCON to get error codes and identify the source of the problem. Repair often involves BGA rework, which requires specialized skills and equipment. NEC Tonkin caps. Well, many believe the caps are the issue. It may not be the case, but rather the RS chip might be the fault. Alternative fix: you can place the 90mm GPU with 60 or 40 nanometers one from later consoles. This requires a lot of skills and rework station, but is usually a permanent solution. Okay, 57 seconds. Fast tech.
So make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe.
Let's see what we got here.
Channel if you haven't already. We're going to be fixing the yellow light of death, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix this issue using simple tools like a heat gun if you don't have a hot air station.
That's exactly what mine's doing.
This PS3 that we're going to be working on today still has its warranty sticker on, which is very, very unusual for these launch systems. What this means is that the system has never been opened up before. So we have a system that's untouched, and that's the best system to learn on. So that's why I figured this was a great opportunity to show you guys how to fix this issue on your own. You can check the model number of these systems by looking at the back. And the last 6 characters, which start with CECH, that's going to be your model number. So this one's a CECH E01, the 01 being the country code, which is United States, Canada. The most important thing to look out for are these characters before the numbers. So if you have a CECH-E system or a CECH-A system, this video applies to your console. The other PlayStation 3s that follow this have a similar layout. The principles remain the same, but the disassembly and reassembly is different. So please refer to my other videos if you want to learn how to disassemble and reassemble.
He's using the screwdriver I have.
Yes, in the description box. You can use the coupon code YouTube for this.
Wow, no, it's not the same.
So we're going to attach a TAH for Fast Pro Auto Kit. And you want to pull up the case as we're doing this, I'll just make the screw come out easy. Once that screw is disengaged, we can slide off the cover like this.
Yeah, the one I got's missing all that.
Screw does not fall out and get lost, and make sure that this piece right here is part of this mechanism that keeps the lid shut.
So in the video they were showing how to remove the warranty sticker. This actually, the other one still has the warranty sticker, so nobody's ever been in it.
Use your pry tool, take it out, there's a cable running underneath. You can remove it from here with this clip.
Oh wow. I think I missed some of this.
Full of dust. Listen, we're going to get a side. And the system is dusty as hell, full of dust. The system was definitely played hard. We're going to lift up the disk drive at this point. There's a cable running underneath. Be very careful. There's actually 2 cables. One for the
Okay.
which I recommend you remove from here. And then there's one for the disk drive. There's a ribbon cable, and there's a clip which is hidden under dust. So we're going to remove this dust. You're going to see there's a clip here. Be very careful with this clip. I've had trained technicians of mine break these clips. These are very sensitive. You just lift it up gently. This one's not coming off as easy. I'm going to use my finger. Stick my fingernail in there and gently lift it up. Be very careful. And then get the ribbon cable out. That's the disk drive right there. Get that out of the way. You have to get a few components out of the way, including the power supply. Point. There's a single network adapter. There's a cable running underneath. You can remove it. Lift up the power supply. There's a pinch connector here that you have to pinch and then pull out. That's the power supply.
I've done this already to the other one.
Newly turned my auto kit. Man, the screw is really in there. This is usually not that hard to remove. Now that I feel it moving, what I would expect from a system this old. You got the 19-blade fan in there. It's a very coveted fan. These only came in the first-gen systems, E01, E01. And now we're going to remove the back panel. We're going to lift up these clips. There's one here and there's one here. Okay. Completely bone dry, as you can see here. Same thing on the CPU, GPU, heat spreaders. If your system was this dirty, it would also be a good idea to clean out the heatsink, remove this fan, clean out the heatsink on that side. We are going to get to that later on in this video. We're going to remove this time and date battery connector. For a lot of people, the bottom side might come out.
I think we already did that on that one.
I know how to put it back in. There's the plastic on it. After time heats up, pads on the website. If you want to replace them, check the links in the description box. These are in surprisingly good condition for looking at how much dust the system has and the fact that it has yellow lighted depth. These are in fairly good shape. At this point, we're going to grab some isopropyl alcohol and some paper towels, and we're going to clean the old thermal paste with isopropyl. And you can use any kind of fabric material, as long as it's something that's not going to leave the fibers on the board or on the chip.
Anyway, yeah, it's a pretty deep dive to get into these things. And the other one, I just checked, it's never been opened. So, anyway. I don't really want to do all this to this thing, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not really interested in it. I don't know. See, the thing is, I've got like several of these different consoles that all have like failure issues, and the PS2s and the Xbox Ones and just all sorts of crap, you know. These are pretty hard to find, but the thing is, it seems nuts to even own one at this point, because they just seem unreliable. Like, I don't think I've ever run across one that did work. But the slim ones, I've seen, you know, those ones all... There's a couple different slim ones, but there's also another one that's in between the slim, where it's not a top loading, where it's more like this one, but it kind of looks like in between. So, I don't know. I mean, the main thing about these is they're backwards compatible, but well, what good does that do you if they don't work?